Are you tired of the busyness trap? Fighting to grow your business, but ending each day exhausted with little to show. You started with dreams of freedom, but now find yourself working longer hours than ever. What if you could build a $1 million business working just 1 hour a day? I know it sounds crazy, and I used to think that working hard was the only way. Then I realized it wasn't true. For years, I ran a 7-figure business working less than 2 days a week, and I didn't even plan to do that. But once I did, I knew I needed to focus more on high impact actions. So in this video, I'll break down the techniques and strategies I use to identify core tasks, eliminate time wasting activities, and achieve more by doing less. Get ready to escape the busyness trap. Like I used to, you are likely running old subconscious belief patterns that more hours equals more money. But the problem is, it never works out. The next month is always supposed to be better than the last month. But once it arrives, the struggle continues. This results in burnout and disappointment. This is the average life. This is the life that most people are living, whether they're an entrepreneur or not. I refuse it, and I invite you to refuse it as well. You were likely programmed since you were in kindergarten. You're told to log the hours, show up a specific time. If you spend enough time there and you do what you're told, that you're going to get a good grade, you're going to get a reward. They don't encourage you to experiment, and all you have to do is follow the rules. But that's not how the real world works. This continues all the way through high school, into college, getting a job, and if you went in the military like me, you definitely experienced it there. All of this rewards the pattern of an 8 to 12 hour workday. And this is churning out average people everywhere. And it's a lot to reprogram. So I invite you to give yourself some grace and simply put one foot in front of the other to rewire your consciousness for easy success. I've invited many of my hardworking clients to limit their workday to only 4 hours. This is often just a third of the time they're used to working. And I'm usually met with a protest that this is unimaginable and they have no idea how this would work. Their brain basically breaks. And usually the next thing they ask is, what am I going to do with the rest of the day if I'm only working for 4 hours? And that's the actual challenge. Finding something to do other than work. Now, you may dream of all the things that you would do if you had more time. We would work out more. We would cook more. We would spend more time with friends. But it's so foreign to our nervous system that our body rejects it. And if you're somebody who can fill their time on vacation, but they can't imagine only working 4 hours a day, then that's all it is your nervous system in a reaction mode. Now, when these clients, when they actually follow through with their 4-hour workday, the results show up immediately. The extra time is spent taking better care of themselves. They start to enjoy hobbies they put to the side. They start getting in better shape and spending time with a friend and family. This allows the mind to expand and see a bigger picture, going beyond the typical patterns of linear thinking. The mind begins to move laterally and experience more aha moments. The blind spots are illuminated and new moves become available. And so they begin to identify key tasks and get focused for shorter periods of time on what actually matters. And they discard the mess. You see, I don't have to tell you what those key tasks are. And there's no way that anyone outside of you can tell you exactly what those key tasks are. They're going to give you the biggest benefit. Now, somebody telling you to run your business in a very specific way may work, but it's not optimal. This is going to be specific to you. And this is why going through this process is what's going to create the best results, and it's going to be the most enjoyable. Now, some of the results that I've seen from people that have been able to step away from the business and not spending all their time on it and expanding their minds around it I've seen people split their business in half in order to sell one half of it. They didn't realize they were actually running multiple businesses under one umbrella. And they were able to sell half of their business and keep the one that's more aligned and profitable. I've seen people have brick and mortar gyms that were also doing some coaching outside of the gym, and they had it all collapse into one. And they realized that the gym is actually not that profitable and taking up most of their time. And they were able to step away in a way that felt good. I've also seen creative content improve dramatically. And when the content improved, the revenue 10x and the profits 10x as well. I've watched people move to a new city and getting into the house of their dreams and traveling the world. I've witnessed clients build an 8-figure coaching business and then selling it, basically retiring, getting completely out of debt. And once you do this, you're really unemployable. And I've seen people as young as 35 retire because they were able to take time away from the business and become more objective. So if you simply cut your workday back to 4 hours, you'd figure out a lot of what I'm about to cover below eventually, but we can do both. So I'm going to present to you my 1 hour business framework for identifying and focusing on the most high impact tasks. Now, the first concept we need to cover is that time is not your most valuable resource. And anytime there's a common meme out in the culture where they say it over and over again, it needs to be challenged because most common phrases are creating the average results. And so I look at this and I realized that time is not the most valuable resource. It's your attention. And the quality of your attention over time is what generates your results. Now, if we just think about time, you're not going to get there. But if we put our attention on attention and the quality of attention over time, you will get there. So most people live their entire lives practicing no authority over their attention at all. They're slaves to the patterns of the past, and their mind is filled with thoughts that cannot be stopped. There's regret of the past and worries about the future. They believe that they are their thoughts and their emotions, and as long as the belief remains, they'll never know true freedom. So start with your breath. Take one, take two, take them all. Be present with it. This is the door to your subconscious, the key to taking your own authority, and where we give ourselves a moment to respond instead of react. So as long as you remain unconscious to your breath, you will remain a slave to the patterns of your past, and you will only keep creating the same life that you already have. This is a lifelong practice. And just hearing me say this now has given you an upgrade. So now that we become present by becoming present with our breath, and we move from a reaction to a response, which improves your ability to respond, increases your responsibility. Number one, I want you to identify your $1,000 an hour tasks. Write down the activities that directly generate revenue or significantly move the business forward. This can be activities that raise awareness about you and your business. This could be converting followers into buyers, or this could be serving your clients. Or there might be something unique to you, which I'm totally unaware of. Now, for me, it's serving my one-on-one consulting clients and activities that get me more of those clients. Number two, the power hour. Identify your most creative, effective hour of the day and make it sacred. Take the single most important task you do and set that in 1 hour and protect it. So my calendar is completely unavailable before and during that hour, because for me, my most creative and effective hour is between around 9 and 10 a.m. In fact, I'm recording this between 9 and 10 a.m. right now. This is when I usually write a blog. I record a video once a week, but the other 6 days a week, I am writing for my blog. This happens for me at least 300 days of the year. I was on vacation last week. I wrote for 2 or 3 days of the week. So I still do it on quote unquote days off because It's really enjoyable, and a lot of my writing is for me as well. Now, this is one of the most important things I can be doing because the more I write, the more clients I will serve over my lifetime. Creating long format content, making YouTube videos, writing blogs is going to generate more clients over my entire lifetime. I've had people that have been on my email list for over a decade who now hire me a decade later. And so I've been investing over time. And so it's not always a thing that is bringing money into your account in that power hour right now, but it's something that's setting you up for it over time as well. So number one is identify your $1,000 an hour task. Number two is the power hour. Number three is part of the framework here. Eliminate distractions. Create a distraction-free environment to maximize focus during your power hour. And I encourage you to take this into other areas of your life as well and outside of that power hour. But for this power hour, eliminate distractions. Put the phone out of reach and keep it on do not disturb. My phone is on do not disturb 24/7. My wife is the only person that can get through. The tabs are closed for anything that is not the task at hand. So if I'm writing my blog or I'm recording a video or whatever it is that I'm working on, any tab that is not related to that task is not open. I am completely unaware of it and I am putting my attention where it is needed in that moment. You can go with silence or noise canceling headphones filled with music without lyrics that keeps you locked on. It's key to have music if you're going to listen to it that keeps you locked on. I don't do lyrics. I do a lot of deep house music. There's certain music that really keeps me there. There's some classical music in there as well. If you're listening to music with a lot of lyrics, then it's likely more of a distraction. Before your power hour, take a bathroom break beforehand. Close the door or whatever needs to be done to limit intrusion from others and may just have a conversation saying, hey, I'm going to work on this for an hour and have a clean workspace. So cluttered space equals a cluttered mind. A lot of times I'll do my writing, I'd say 2 or 3 days of the week at a cafe. I have my headphones on. Something about that environment I really love. All right, so number 4 of the framework is holding the vision. Every morning I check in with my vision. And I did a video a while back called The Ultimate Mindset Hack. You can go find it. And I walk you through the tone for I walk you through my whole process of setting my vision first thing in the morning. You can also find it on my blog, The Ultimate Mindset Hack, where I wrote it out. That might actually be more helpful for you. So this sets the tone for my entire day before the world gets my attention. When I wake up in the morning, the way I hold my vision is I don't check my phone in the morning. The first 2-3 hours of the day, I get my focused work in before I see anything on social media, before I check my email or anything like that. That allows me to spend hours working on what it is that I want to work on. And having set that vision, it allows me to hold it even though other things start trying to pry my attention off of the things that matter the most in my business and for my life. Also, every time you sit down, check in with your intention for what you're doing. And is that taking you toward your vision or away from it? It's one or the other. And do one thing at a time as much as you possibly can. Obviously, during the power hour, you're doing the one thing that's going to move you forward the most. But in the rest of your life, as you're holding the vision, if you can do one thing at a time as much as you can, you'll get way more done. It may not feel like it may feel counterintuitive, but nobody thrives as a multitasker. Some are better at multitasking than others, but that doesn't actually mean that that's the best thing they should be doing. And I haven't found anything this does not apply to. This applies from everything from writing content to serving clients to going on date night with my wife. And number 5 of the framework is community. Surround yourself with others that are on the same mission to leverage attention to scale. I didn't get this until about 2013, and I went to my first in-person mastermind, and I was surrounded by others that were doing the same thing. They were working a lot less than people working 9 to 5s, and they're making a lot more, and they were having a good time doing it. So those are the 5 pieces of the framework. Now, most people remain a slave to being busy. And I hope that just by watching this video, that you're ready to break free of that busyness. So this idea of the 1-hour business is absolutely possible when you bring your daily commitment. Know your most impactful activities, protect your power hour, eliminate distractions, hold the vision, and join a community of like-valued entrepreneurs. So I invite you, check the link down below, the 1 Hour Business Community. It's right here, right now for you. And every hour that passes is another hour you choose to forfeit your freedom. So come plug in with us, ride the wave, and I'll see you on the inside.